Hey guys, Nolar here, back on the 5 9 mobile channel, and today we've got the reveal of Zenless Zone Zero, the next Hoyoverse game. And for those of you who don't know, Hoyoverse used to be MiHoYo, makers and producers of Honkai Impact 3rd, and most notably Genshin Impact. So we're gonna go over and talk about the game, what we've seen, the websites here, the trailers here. We've got some interesting things to talk about. So I've got Gail with me, the other master king of gachas. So Gail, what's going on, my friend?
Yo, everybody, this is going to be very interesting because this is not necessarily, well, at least it doesn't seem part of the Impact universe. And not only that, this is also the first Hoyoverse game that's not made by their Shanghai team. This is going to be made in the Montreal studio, apparently. At least that's what I've been told. There's no full confirmation on that from what I know, but if it is made by their MiHoYo Montreal team, which does make sense, especially considering the situation in China currently, the fact that they're able to get this out and make the announcement for it, it's going to be very interesting to see how a different team does compared to the usual team that does Honkai, Genshin, and stuff. So yeah, I'm very interested on this one, Nalar.
Yeah, so guys, before we dive right into it, if you want to get up to date on other gacha games, mobile games like Dokkan Legends, all that stuff, definitely check out the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, all that stuff. Leave us some comments, all that stuff to help feed the algorithm machine. Let's get into it. So, Gail, literally a minute ago, you finished watching the trailer.
Yep.
What is your thoughts on the trailer? It's a 2 minute 40 second trailer, right?
Yeah, it's 2 minute 41 minutes trailer. I'm gonna mute it and I'm gonna make sure we don't play the trailer because we do not want to get hit with copyrights from good old MiHoYo-chan, or Hoyoverse-chan, I should say at this point. It looks interesting to say the least because initially going into this trailer or this announcement, I thought, and a lot of other people were, talking about MiHoYo, developing a sort of shooter game, and people were saying it's going to be a third-person open-world shooting game, and I was like, and then people were also talking about there being vehicles in the game and stuff, and I initially thought that this was just gonna be anime GTA. I'm not gonna lie, going into this, I thought it was gonna be anime GTA, but it's more so feels like more so like a cyberpunk sort of like Honkai more than anything else, at least gameplay wise. We still don't know the full details of the gameplay or anything of that sort. I mean, if you guys can see here, it's basically a sort of semi-mini area and you're fighting against enemies. We don't know if we'll be able to explore and the open world or not, kind of like how Genshin is, or is it going to be like area by area, kind of like how Honkai is, right? So that's also going to be very interesting. The combat does seem a lot more like Honkai's, where there's more action going on compared to the more static, very basic combat system of Genshin. So that's also a good thing because I know a lot of people complain about how basic Genshin's combos are versus like Honkai's and various other gachas. So it's good to see that they're going for the more detailed combos in this game for sure. Overall, I like it. I kind of like that they're going for a more cyberpunk theme, obviously with Genshin and Honkai being more fantasy. Honkai does have a little bit of, the modern, more futuristic style, but this is more cyberpunk than anything else. I don't even think it's there is futuristic themes in it, but it's cyberpunk themes, whereas Honkai is just future, like 2080s 2100s kind of thing. Like it's in the very distant future. Genshin's obviously the more fantasy world, more lore based, more mythical creatures kind of vibe, right? So that's a good thing that they're going for a different take here for sure. Especially with them already basing themselves with Honkai and Genshin, this is a great place to go, in all honesty. What do you think, Nolar? How did you find the trailer? Because I haven't asked you about what you thought so far.
Basically, if I was gonna wrap up this introductory trailer, it's the first trailer, that's why it was kind of long, showed a bunch of characters off. I would have just pegged this game as Honkai playstyle meets Arknight's characters wrapped more in cyberpunk. That's essentially what this is.
Right?
Yeah. I loved. Okay, to me, Honkai was my favorite gacha. It's just too much manual grinding. I think things have changed now. I'm too far gone to go back. But in terms of fluidity of combat, it was up there, right? So,
Yep.
If this looks like Honkai gameplay, I'm all for it. Now, I was told that this had more roguelike elements. because in the questionnaire or survey, they were definitely a lot more questions about roguelike elements in there, and then that's where my interest is peaked. But I'm a little wary because I don't know how that's gonna play out. But yeah, the game features explore halls with your squad, fighting through changing labyrinths. So that to me kind of points to roguelike elements. But it seems like it's arena based, or maybe it's open world. So arena based being like you're just in this area and that's it, versus Genshin, which is you could go from one spot to the next spot to the next spot, right?
Yeah.
So again, I'm pretty intrigued, that's for sure. So I definitely did sign up for the beta. So if you guys didn't know, there is a beta that you can sign up for right now.
I've already signed up for it.
Yeah. So he's already signed up for it, and you need to have a Hoyoverse account, which is different than the MiHoYo account I had before, apparently. So, getting a Hoyoverse account, sign up for it, and there's technical things like what are you going to play it on? iOS, Android, what kind of PC do you have? You can play it on PC. What kind of games are you interested in, and all that kind of stuff. And ironically, this one didn't have any spending questions. Unlike Star Rail absolutely asked me, do I spend more than $5,000? And my question is yes. Yes, I do. But anyway, so the tuning test is supposed to be, that's what they call it, beta test, tuning test, however you want to call it. It should be coming out soon. So if you're interested, definitely go to the website and check out the sign up button. Just started now. Deadline will be announced later. So, better to get in now before they cancel it in like 2 days. Who knows, right?
One thing to note, one thing that was very surprising to me, the tuning test only supports iOS and PC. So at least we know it's coming to those two platforms, but they haven't mentioned any other one. I assume if it's coming to iOS, it has to come to Android. I highly doubt they would do that where it's just not on Android. So that's something to note as well. If you want to sign up for the test, you have to have one of those two things. If I'm not mistaken, they also mentioned a bit about like what requirements there are for the test, right? So you need like, and this is good for people who are interested in like playing the game on PC. So you need at least a GTX 970, which I mean, in 2022 I hope you would have advanced to the 10 series or higher, 8 GB RAM, Intel i5. So it doesn't seem to be like a extremely demanding game, and the fact that it's also 10 gigs of storage on PC compared to, I think Genshin started off at like 14 or 15 gigs already, and that was open world. So I assume this has to be a bit more limited in its universe in terms of like maybe the exploration side of things, and it might lean in towards being more of a area by area basis compared to like a just open world in Genshin, for sure.
Right, and more importantly, like this is gonna be the first beta test. MiHoYo, or I guess Hoyoverse, really likes to do multiple beta tests. So probably the second one will have Android, hopefully, involved in it as well. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy about the character designs. Cyberpunky. There are animal, so that's why I got the Arknights kind of things. Like you have tails, you have like that big
this guy
bear.
Yeah, where's the
and there are dudes. Yes. There are dudes. That's the one. I know that's kind of weird to say, and you all be like, "What?" But like, the fact is, like, even though we like our waifu collectors, we do, Gail. There are people who don't, and so if you want to cater to or attract a wider audience, you need to cater to everybody else. So there are going to be people who love the animals. Furries, and there are gonna be people who like having guys and buff dudes to beat up on stuff, when some people like to have the busty jiggle physics going on, and they definitely have that in the trailer. They definitely showed that, but I'm just saying
she did.
So I'm just saying there's different archetypes of characters that you can be appealed to. Like, again, Honkai is a great game, but not everyone's going to be attracted to Honkai because they don't want to just play with girls. They want to be dudes, they want to be animals, they want to be a bunch of stuff. And this game already off the bat, it's like, hey, we're wide shot gamut here. We'll appeal to whatever, is your liking, and that's kind of interesting here from that regard. So
I think that's one thing I'll also say. I mean, it's pretty evident if you look at Genshin as well right now, right? I would say the bigger fan bases are from the male characters, like, Zhongli, Xiao, Ayato, and stuff like that. Like, people froth at the mouth for those characters more so than other waifu characters. I mean, the waifu characters are obviously popular, like in Shogun and stuff like that, but if you look, Zhongli, Zhao, and Ayato, they're consistently trending, I feel, on Twitter and stuff. So there is a fan base for, husbandos effectively. And I think it's
Yep.
very, very nice that they're definitely going for, a good balance of the two for sure.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, those are our initial impressions, which just seem positive. Now, do you have any negative impacts so far, or is there not enough for you to make any kind of judgments
It's
right
hard
now?
because yeah, it's too early in the day for me to say anything about the game being bad because there's nothing much to go off of, right? In terms of gameplay, because I think the designs are great. I think so far so good. I have no complaints in terms of how it looks, how the designs are. The quality of the game looks decent. It's just that once we get into the actual gameplay, how it feels is going to be where it's going to get interesting. And on top of that, how the design of the game is when it comes to the features, right? Because the one thing I've realized with Hoyoverse is that their first 2 years are always extremely shaky when it comes to actual gameplay features or, events in the game.
Quality of life.
Yeah, Honkai year 1 and 2, I mean, it wasn't great. Let's be real. Like, as much as people gas up Honkai now, Honkai wasn't the same as it used to be back in the day. And to be fair, no gacha in 2016 was perfect. Let's be real. All of them were flawed in some way or the other. Genshin so far year 1 and 2 hasn't been great, and Tears of Themis, not many people talk about it, but that's also because it's a completely different style of a game, right? So hopefully their entry into this first year is much better than those other games.
Yeah, and I would agree with you there. That's my reservation. Is like I played Honkai year 1 and 2. It was not fun. It was not fun. A lot of whew, man, the quality of life is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
That's something we can discuss in a later point. But I hope that because it's the Montreal team, which is a different team altogether, they're gonna have a very different outlook and priority system compared to the past teams that did Honkai and Genshin, right? So,
Yes.
um, that gives me a little bit of slight optimism, but yeah, overall, on the same boat where things are a little too early for me to judge whether or not this is going to be there's any bad issues right now because we don't really see a lot. We see character designs, and you and I both agree these look fantastic, and they
Mhm.
really appeal to like the weeb in me, like the anime side thing. Like, yeah, this definitely scratches that itch. I just want to see more actual gameplay of like how things go. Again, it looks like it really looks like Honkai in terms of the action, but does it play differently because it is a roguelike? Like you can you could pick your powers or the enemy's powers and how you want to take on a challenge, right? So
Yeah.
I'm more curious about that, and again, it's too early to judge. But so far, I'm hopeful optimism, saying that this looks pretty cool, and we'll definitely be checking it out. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's
yeah. Anything else you got to say, yo?
no, yeah, like you said, I think the ever-changing labyrinths. They're saying, the fact is that if it does, if the AI is good enough to the point where it changes, because this is the one thing I'm a little bit concerned about, and if it is a roguelike and it is going to be ever-changing labyrinths and stages, my hope is that it's done well, because I feel like more often than not I get burnt out, or when I say burnt out, I get burnt by companies promising us like, oh, it's gonna be really, really good. The way we change our stages and everything consistently, they're all really, really good, and then when we get it, it's not really, really good anymore. So hopefully in this case it's done well, it's done correctly. Again, Hoyoverse has had experience. They've got a lot of money, so they have the investment time now. I say they have a lot of money, that's because of Genshin, but they have a lot of money now to splurge on these games, and I'm glad that they're able to do it, because while Genshin is a major title, they can't put all their eggs in one basket. So seeing them try and change up by doing various genres is so cool, and I really want them to keep doing that, because right now we have Honkai, which is like sort of like a level by level action RPG. You have Star Rail, which is going to be an open world turn-based RPG. You got Genshin, open world action RPG, and if this is going to be a roguelike, and then they start adding more and more, it's going to be very exciting. It's just that they need to make sure when they make these games, they make them right, more so than anything else. And I have faith, but at the same time, other companies have diminished my hope quite a bit when it comes to roguelikes, in all honesty.
Yeah. Again, cautious optimism. We'll see how this plays out. So, yeah, guys, this is our thoughts on the brand new announcement of Zenless Zone Zero, the new Mihoyoverse game coming out. They've got a few other ones. Of course, they have Star Rail, but there are actually 3 other codename projects in the works, and we have no idea what they are. So, Mihoyo is definitely trying to diversify, and they make pretty decent games, so we'll definitely be taking a look at that. So with that said, guys, on behalf of myself and Gail, again, if you want to see more mobile gaming stuff, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share this with your friends, share this one with your mom. Some videos are great to share with your family, and this is one of those. So with that said, behalf of myself and Gail, thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. We're out.
Bye bye.